No.
Can I ask you a different story, Thomas? Can we quickly? We've got sound now, so I'm just wondering whether we can save this broadcast by quickly summarising where we've got to and what our mission is for those people that didn't hear anything beforehand.
Okay. Mohammed is saying that there's no video, although I've got video on mine.
I'm still getting sound.
You guys got a bit mute too, I think.
It's very laggy.
Yeah, it's moving really slowly. Perhaps it's going to collapse again. Maybe we should just forget it and carry on.
I'm okay. We guess we can put it up later. I don't know.
Does it stream only, or are you recording as well?
Uh,
I almost recorded it, then I didn't. Sure. It's okay. We will continue. The quick update. Actually, I'll give the 2-second update in case it's heard. So the party finds themselves summoned to the Lady Oi's and the castle, the headquarters of Daisan No Me. They have been summoned to help the Lady Oi settle a debt that she owes one of the headmen in the mountains. Various huts with young families in them have been found with the young families dead, frozen overnight by the ferociously cold mountains and the deep winter that is struck Japan. The party has travelled to the mountains with their stalwart guide Asa, who is attempting to get the group to the village safely and is not sure if he's going to be able to successfully do so in the face of serious assistance from the group. However, he is the proud owner of a Tomika musket and has constantly referred to how much and how trusted that musket is and how many times it has saved his life, much to the dismay of Moshimuku, who has realised that Asa is unfortunately a name that can be owned by many people. Some of them are dumb. And
it also does feel like a bit of foreshadowing for the moment where the gun fails us.
That's right. Whilst Ryu rides high in the wave of support from the minion who was hired after all by Moshimuku and his great pleasure.
Moshimuku always hires the best staff. That's one of his great strengths. One of his few great strengths.
It may be his own strengths. That and his ability to leap in the way.
Thomas, math's bad enough. I don't need you in line.
So, now, Asa, that is the story that Asa tells very quickly. And Moshimuku swears that next time he goes in the mountains, he's hiring a different person to take the mountains. No matter how good
someone, Ryu needs someone to keep him entertained. So,
that's right.
Comes along like it's a bit like taking a child along with us. So you need a mind to keep him out of trouble.
You do. Actually, I'll do this. I think I can. Oops, sorry. I'm going to do two things at once, and it's not working. I meant to put this picture up. Is this literally what you're doing right now? What's up? Oh, there you go. That's slightly better. So you've got your little. When you share it as the screen, quite so bad. It was a very small photo. I didn't realise the image was so small.
But if you minimise it on your own screens, it will come up about the size of all our video feeds.
Yeah, which is what I've done. Oh, no, I'm doing it. But
we get to choose whether we want to see people or the map, which is, I think, one of the other brilliant things about Roll.
Yeah, it's actually very nice that every person gets to choose that view, actually. That's good. I didn't realise that, because I've only GM'd it. I've not played in it. So you're all sort of gathered around the warmth and, the fire, and there's the Lee. You're all warming yourselves. Asa tells the story of the young woman seeking her lover in the mountains. And then hives himself off to bed with the statement, we should all go to bed early because tomorrow we will have to wake early to make our trip to the village. And disappears into the tent on that note. Does anyone want to stay up? He's not putting on a watch. By the way, there's no watch. Per se.
I'm going to.
Frank, if you're sorry, I think Frank was talking, but I couldn't hear you at all.
No, we can't hear you, Frank.
Yeah. Any better?
Yes, we
Yes.
can now.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't know. I had to mute my mic and then unmute it again. I was just saying we need a good night's sleep. There's a long journey ahead of us today.
Yeah.
And I think we are safe here, so I don't think we need a guard.
I too am going to bed, but just one last look around. Is there anything unusual in this snow that I might spot with my vigilance, I guess?
You can make a vigilance roll.
I will do that. Vigilance isn't my thing, but I'll do it anyway. Two successes. It's not bad.
That's very good. You look around in the snow-covered mountains that surround you. You don't see anything particularly well. Mountains not really your thing, is it? I mean, snow and mountains.
Yeah.
You're more of a Tokyo city boy. You don't see anything particularly new.
I can't see the
Do
there used
any
to be
of
a
the
little
rest of
thing
you
to
do anything?
put your dice tray away, and I can't remove my dice tray now. There we go.
Oh, you can. It's a roll.
Yeah, no, it's just a bit.
The top right, is it? I think?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bit
Top
too
left.
ghosted.
Have to hide it.
I think I'm just going to wait for everybody else to go to bed, and I will then take the opportunity of being by the fire by myself to
Murder me.
partake of my dark secret and
Oh, indeed.
some of my opium.
Right.
Once they've all gone to bed, making sure
Okay.
if I need a roll to make sure that nobody sees me, I will make a roll because I do not wish to be overseen doing this.
Well,
Unless
I was going to say, well, I'll take the first watch. Aren't we taking watches?
Sure, why not? Why not have a watch?
No. What kind of expedition is this?
Well, I'll take the first watch then, Taro, because I'm not tired yet.
so, you see Asa pop his head out through the tent like this. It's like, watch. What?
Well,
Oh, of course, sir. We should absolutely
Yeah,
have
yes.
a watch in the mountains by ourselves.
yes.
Yeah. What watch
The
would you like
procedure.
me to take? Sir?
Well,
Asa can sleep. He needs all the energy for carrying all our stuff tomorrow.
That's true. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll go back to sleep then, and he disappears back into the tent
Right.
to sleep.
well then, Moshimoku-san, if you take the first watch, wake me up, and I'll take the second.
I will. Yes.
All right.
And
So you're
whilst
going
I'm-
to feed
whilst
the
I'm on
fire?
watch, yeah, might as well. But whilst I'm on watch, towards the end of my watch, I will partake of my opium, and then I
Okay.
will quite quickly wake up Taro and
Yep.
go straight to bed,
Okay.
rather than fall
Oh, you-
asleep in front of the fire. Take it of my opium.
Having partaken. I might get you. Actually, I will get you to make a. I reckon it's going to be a force roll. Yeah, I reckon it is. Could you
Okay.
make a force roll for me, Moshimoku?
To do what? Not fall asleep.
Well, you take the opium, which puts
Obviously.
you in a quite relaxed
Yeah.
state of mind and body, and it's quite warm in front of the fire.
I am putting my stuff away as soon as I've used it. Yeah.
Sure,
Because
I'm
I
not-
don't-
It is your dark secret after all,
It is exactly.
and it's a routine you're into
Um,
because you know you fall asleep with opium. So yeah.
Do I get any bonus dice at all? Because obviously I am practiced in doing this in this way.
Is this because you got 3 dice for force?
Well, that might be part of it. Yeah.
You should have prepped for this, Dave, like I did.
You You can have a dice.
Okay, right. Let's see what happens.
Because you're actually, you know, focused. I'll give you that.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Well,
Two
there you go then.
successes. Yeah.
There you go. All right.
No
You
worries.
do not fall asleep in front of the fire.
With all my opium stuff on my lap.
Well, I wasn't actually going to have the opium stuff flying around. But I did think there was a fair chance you were going to sort of put it away in your pocket and then sort of gently snooze. Taro would eventually wake up and find you unconscious in front of the fire.
Unconscious and frozen to death.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, there's a real risk of that. So you take the opium and then disappear into the tent, waking Taro up and half the tent at the same time. Because it's not a big. It's a big tent, but not that big. Okay, Taro, you're on second watch. How long are these watches going for? By the way, that one asked. Mashimuku, how long?
I guess probably an hour or two, maybe 2
An hour or two. Yeah. Right. So Taro, are you going to do 2 hours as well, or?
Yeah. I'll do 2 hours.
Right. And who do you wake up?
I'm gonna wake up you, and quite brutally.
Right.
So, it's now your turn.
I thought we weren't taking watches because I went to bed after this, before this
Of course, we are
conversation.
taking watches.
Yeah.
It's not a procedure.
Okay.
Team player. Come on, Ray.
I get up. You're asleep, Dave.
Arthur rolls over a little bit more. It's like, okay. So they seem to be averaging about 2 hours, Raya, which you could work out, maybe. I don't know.
So I've had 4
You don't
hours
even know
sleep,
who's
haven't I,
playing.
roughly?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I'm
4
actually
hours.
waking up in the middle, or not in the middle of at the end of a sleep cycle. So I can be quite awake. And actually,
Sure.
6 hours is enough for everybody. So I reckon at the end of my watch, is the light coming up? Is it time to start packing the tent away? And
No, you're at least 2 hours away. Because it's the middle of winter, right? Oh,
what it is? Yeah.
okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so it's getting quite bright, right? Am I right?
No. You're right. It's dark. It's the middle of winter.
It's going to be very short days, very long nights.
Okay.
I mean,
Right. You guys have really short days
in Sweden they do. I don't know how high
It's
Japan
it's
is, but
Southern
it's
Hemisphere people. It's an outrage.
Yeah, I know. We can't calculate this shit. It's like, hold on, it's cold. Why? What's the thing? Okay. I mean, Japan is, I think, roughly at the same latitude on the other side, on the northern hemisphere that we're on the southern hemisphere. Vaguely. I have flown there once, so I should be a better memory of that, but I think that's about right. So it's probably, so definitely not. Because you had one story, you went to bed, which was sort of in my head, had it sort of 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at night. You've had 4 hours, which makes it about 1 a.m. in the morning. You've got another 2 hours with you, which makes it 3. You're a good solid, 3 hours after that minimum before light even starts to crack through the, 3 things.
right then.
Probably later, actually.
So do you want me to make a roll for my watch, or do I just wake up Frank? Toshiro?
You don't need to make a roll for your watch, and you can just wake up Toshiro.
Frank, you're muted again, despite your mic being on. Still
No,
muted.
you're still muted. No,
Still muted.
1 second.
It works some magic.
No, he's having a sleep. That's beautiful.
So I can't wake Frank up because he's muted.
Oh. You can't get Frank up. He's not.
Trying to reset up his
All right, we're going to have to. Unfortunately, I think roll the beaver roll is affecting us. Oh, hold on.
No, still muted.
No, he's
Yeah.
going to track it. I will admit, with Zoom, at least you can dial in.
We need a drum roll for Frank working on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, still nothing, Frank. Can't hear a word.
And he's having a really good conversation.
Yeah, I know. So that's the end. Frank, you need to talk to us in semaphore from now on.
You might just want to swap the default mic on settings.
Might be worth trying that, yeah.
As in change the mic from whatever to whatever. And just see if that makes a difference.
Any better?
Yes.
Hey,
Oh,
yeah.
To be honest, yeah, I'm trying to work out various things at the same time here, trying to work out how to make the web stream work with audio. But yeah, you can hear me. Waking me up.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning.
Is it time to get... Look, it's still dark. I need my sleep.
Ishikawa Taro said we should all take a watch. I've just done 2 hours. It's your time. Unless you'd like me to wake up. Yomi.
Not yet.
Aki.
I suppose I'll take this one. Kiyomi needs to sleep.
Well,
I'll take
it'll
this
be
one.
6. We can have an early breakfast in the dark. I will cook.
I'm pretty sure before we were said we didn't need watches.
So I'm sure
Military
I was the one that got woken up at
self-
2 o'clock in the morning.
states. All right, I'll do it.
He's grown from us.
You hear this with a gunshot. He's killed himself.
This is why I said there was no need for watches.
I'll do it. Fine.
I love the fact that as a group we're spending half an hour doing these watches. And there is no need for the watches whatsoever.
I know. I probably should cut it short. That's role playing.
Yeah.
So, but you are. So, are you going to greet the dawn? Is the question I have
Of
to
course,
share.
I'm going to greet the dawn. If I see it coming up, but if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, there'll be a few hours to go, right?
It will. Yeah.
So I think at some point I might just wake Kiyomi just to warm up again, so I can snuggle back in and wake up. No, sorry. warm
Okay.
up.
So you wake up Kiyomi.
What? No roll
Shut up.
for observation for whatever? Vigilance?
We're not doing watches. Go to sleep.
That's what I thought. Look,
Yeah, I'm
Kiyomi,
not doing this. There's nobody here. Nothing to watch.
fine. Look, if anybody else, I tap you on the shoulder, go back to sleep. I'm going to go back to sleep as well.
You need to. Good night. Don't wake me until morning.
And this is where the bear arrives.
I'm going
So you go to sleep and you don't go on the watch.
I do
The
not
first
do
person up the next morning, of course, is Asa, who has mostly managed to sleep through the night, despite the muttered argument at 3 a.m. in the morning about whether the watches were needed, and the frank refusal, if I may say, Frank, the frank refusal by Kiyomi to engage in the process of being involved in the watch business. So you're all asleep, and you hear Asa moving around outside. Light has now seeped through the tent. He pops his head through the awning, and breakfast is ready. If you would all like to get up, we need to go soon, so we need to eat.
breakfast. Oh, sweet. What's for breakfast?
Very good breakfast of rice stew and mushrooms.
Ah,
Oh, sweet.
very good.
Sounds delicious.
There's nothing like the morning air. Deep inhales. It's very invigorating, yes. It's too hot in here. He'd open the flaps of the tent and let all the
Can I just give him a shove as he's doing that?
Just push it out. Go, be free.
Washimuka-san.
Little bird.
Yes.
Okay, Asa sees you come out and is holding breakfast, a steaming bowl sort of rice stew and mushrooms lying on top of it. Tara-san.
The wall. I'm here.
Just eats as quickly as possible. Are the rest of you ready? The stew is ready, and he's got the pot over the fire.
Oh, yes.
I've had a really good night's sleep. I wake up really refreshed and feeling great.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Very good, very good.
Someone won't be doing it every night, but otherwise I'm fine.
Yes. I'm glad I took the last watch, so I got to see the dawn rise. It was beautiful this morning, he says out loud.
Very good. Very good.
Yes. And then he packs up the tent and moves you along as quickly as possible towards the village.
Let's go.
With the tab note on the road.
Yes. These mountains are a dangerous place to wander alone. So we must all stay together at all times. Do not separate. It is easy to get confused in the mountains. It was good that we had watches in the night, Tara-san. No doubt, the whole reason why the food was not lost to boars and squirrels was the guard that were placed upon it.
Famous mountain squirrels, yeah. Very dangerous.
Yes. Well, bowls, they can climb a bowl. It doesn't matter where you put it. They can get.
I just want to point out, in the last game of Mans that our group played, a squirrel did eat half your rations, so they can.
Could it still move afterwards?
It was a big squirrel.
It kept coming back to get more.
You head along the logging trail and find yourselves now actually at the village that we referred to, that I flew up earlier. So I'll just once again go back to said thing, and I'll go back to minimize. So there's this lovely little village next to a fast-flowing river. You can see steam rising from various points in the village. And it's quite clearly steam, it's not smoke, because it's outside of a number of the houses, it's not in it. And you can see pools of water steaming to some of the houses.
Is this geological? Yeah, these hot springs.
They do appear to be hot springs.
Oh, cool. Nice.
The village itself is once again quite stunning, albeit small. So there's snow. There's a number of houses. There appears to be a number of people moving around the village through the snow. As I said, you can see hot springs, sort of not frozen, although it is heavily covered in ice. It is not fully frozen, suggesting that there may be some warming of the water in the river.
Azza, is it normal? Is this always as beautifully warm as in the winter?
Oh yes. Such beautiful springs. They allow us.
Do you think they have so many hot springs here? Yeah, that's great. They must not have much in a winter like this when they have so much hot springs.
It is very warm in the village where there are the hot springs, but food is still hard to come by, and you cannot sleep in a pool of water.
I guess you can't, no.
And no one has bought metal plumbing here. The river is crossed by a small bridge, and so the village is on both sides of the river. I assume you would like to go to the headman's house.
Yes, I guess we need to speak to Tadashi Konda.
Excellent. I will take you there now. And he
Is there any way here that we can have lodgings, or will we need to sleep in our tent the whole time?
Oh no, there is an onsen, so
Excellent.
so there is an onsen. It's a small place, but I'm sure you will find it quite comfortable. And he shuffles in, takes you to the headman's house. Sorry, I've struggled over that. The headman's house, and guide you to the front door. And then, would you like me to take your accoutrements, your equipments, to the onsen?
That sounds like a good idea. If you want to go ahead and prepare our lodgings for us, that would be excellent.
Of course, sir. It may take me 2 trips. That camera is very large, but I will do it. And he disappears off into the village proper. The doors of the headman's house flung open at this point, and a somewhat older, portly gentleman, possibly early 60s, maybe late 60s, quite old, actually, very old, looks out upon you, and he's wearing a sort of, he's wearing the sort of inner house robes. He's obviously been quite warm wherever he is. Looks out at you. Who are you? What are you doing in my door? You seem important. What brings you here?
Are you by any chance Tadashi Konda?
Yes, headman. Konda. Yes.
Very good.
It sounds like
Russia.
Soka.
I only have one accent. I just
Yes.
I have literally one accent, and that's it. A female character from Boston. Character from South Africa. Alien hyena person. Anyway. It's a rich and varied tapestry that I bring.
Everyone is Zathras.
Everyone's Zathras. I'm leading a charge to make every person Zathras. Because he does have up to 7 siblings. Yes, no. Yes, I am the headman. And who are you?
Yes, we were sent here by the Lady Oi.
Oh, he looks with big eyes. The Lady Oi.
Ishikawa Taro desu.
Oh. Bows very lowly to all of you. Are you people of the third eye? Almost whispers it.
So da ne.
Oh. Bows again. You come in. Do not stay in the snow any longer. It's cold out there. You must come in now, immediately. I'm so thankful that you have come.
Definitely cold. I can agree.
Yes, come in. And he sort of goes in, opens the doors, and invites you all into the much warmer inner part of the house. There's basically an inner courtyard, and in the middle of the inner courtyard of the house, which is covered with a roof, there's actually a spring, which is heating that room. It's not providing, it's not a heating system, but in that room, you're actually quite warm, albeit slightly humid. And he sort of sits on a stone that seems to have been brought into this inner courtyard around this pool of water, which is bubbling away. It's the warmest place in the house this time of year. The Lady Oi heard my message.
She did. She sent us to him.
Yes, there are horrible things happening in the mountains. I am so thankful you have come. We have lost many young families this winter. The winter takes the old and the infirm often, but to lose so many young, so close together. Young children, young wives, young husbands, the future of our village, the future of all of our villages, seems to be snatched away by this terrible winter, and yet the old, they carry on, sing on.
So it takes the young specifically.
Yes, yes, it is very unusual. And many of these people have lived in these mountains for years. Some of them grew up here. For them to fall prey to such simple deaths seems, I mean, yes, every year one or two families die. They forget to unclog their chimneys or to, to make sure the fire runs through the night. But to lose so many families, it is unheard of.
Is there anything else that they have in common other than just that they are young? Are they all charcoal farmers, makers?
Or do they
Many of them are... Oh, sorry, Tashiro, was it?
Or do they all have children?
They are all young families, and they do all have children. Some of them are charcoal burners, but not all. Some of them hunt, are hunters. They collect pelts from the animals in the forest to sell. Some of them just live at the edge of the village and would normally work in a logging, like the husbands would normally log when the logging seasons are upon us. One or two of them even held logging rights for some parts of the mountain.
And presumably the pelt hunters and the loggers, this is a long and old traditional career employment here. It's not new. It's not something...
No,
whereas the charcoal burning is reasonably new here, or not?
No, charcoal burning's been going on for a really long time because they've been making iron and other things in one form or another in Japan for quite some time.
Yeah.
The loggers in particular, though, have traditional rights. So when the Tokugawa took over Japan, one of the things they started to do, particularly in the early 1700s, is they started to issue logging rights to families. So families have particular rights to log particular areas.
Yeah.
So yes, some of these people are 6th, 7th generation sort of loggers. So no, it is not new activity, and it's certainly not industrial. However, logging is becoming a bigger thing. So there is more logging happening in the forest than there has happened in the past as the building needs of the cities grow, and in particular for shipbuilding and railways. So more trees are being taken from the mountains than have traditionally been taken.
The great restoration that we have recently witnessed is making great changes to our country. Has any of these changes come to affect this village?
No. Well, we get sometimes we have lost a number of girls, particularly in the summer months. They go away and they don't come back. I assume they run off with young boys from the city or run off to the city. So we are suffering some of that. There was a village near here, as a matter of fact, where a number of young girls went missing, but I understand that is no longer happening. But the biggest impact is...
They disappear without trace. It's not that they're later found in the cities, or it just disappeared into the wilderness without trace?
The girls?
Yeah.
The girls. We do not know. I am not from that village. It is some distance from here, but a number of girls went missing last few years. However, I understand that hasn't stopped. In answer to your question about what else has come to us, we are having more people come during the summer months, or during probably the autumn months, really, actually, not summer, the autumn months, to come and take of the springs that surround our village. I expect that more people, as they hear about these springs, will come up into the mountains and seek to stay here. It is a great opportunity for the village.
And do these new people also honor the old spirits?
We honor all the spirits that surround us in these mountains. We are not foolish like some of the lowlanders who make such silly mistakes.
That's why I'm asking. There's an influx of new people. Do they follow the old traditions?
Well, it would be very unwise for them not to do so.
Can I make a learning or an inspiration roll to get a sense for whether building a house around one of these hot springs is actually going to be potentially something that the spirits of the springs are going to be displeased about?
Sure. You know.
Which learning or inspiration?
That'd be learning, wouldn't it?
Learning?
Yeah.
All my research?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got to hang on, just clear that.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. And click.
I get one
success.
success. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Actually, I can push because I've got my talent, so I don't take a condition.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So I'm going to push that then.
Yep.
I just got rid of a dice. So
Doesn't matter.
I'll re-roll those 6, and I've got 1
Yep.
success. Okay, that's 3 successes in total.
Yep. If there was a spring spirit, like a hot spring spirit, yes, it could be potentially quite offended. It would really depend on how it was done. Like, it would really, it would very much depend on, whether the spirit was appropriately appeased.
Right.
They'd probably, like, people have been sitting in these hot springs for centuries. It's not new to sort of partake of hot springs. So your sense of it is it could be it's like anything. It could be potentially quite offensive if it was done for cheap commercial gain and they were treated poorly in the process. However, if they were appropriately appeased, like I said, people have been in hot springs for centuries. It's not going to break the world for someone to suddenly start doing it. Now, if someone was to damage the spring, though, that would be a very different conversation. Because building a house around a spring is very different to doing something to the spring.
Right.
Um,
I'm going to compliment Konda-san on his house. My research, having an idea of the remedies you need to go through to upkeep the house around it. So, dwelling in your place and building your own. You hear of the dedication ceremonies and the rituals that you included in building this house when you were building it around the spring.
well, for the Daisan No Me, I would of course feel. Would you record this?
Pardon?
Would you record this? Would you record what I tell you?
Not if you don't wish me to.
Oh, no. It would bring me great pride to have it recorded into your library. It would be amazing.
I'll pull
Well-
out my journal then.
And let's get a photograph of the moment and the house.
Yeah.
The what? 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 And you pull out the camera, and it's like, okay. I take a photo of appropriately these.
Yeah, we'll just have to stop talking for about.
Right, just
And from what he's saying, does it make it clear that he's talking about what he did, or is he talking about what you should do? I'm trying to get a sense of whether he has done the correct.
He's doing what he believes to be the correct view.
Right. And he did do this then when he was building the house around the spring.
As far as you can ascertain, he points to all he did. Did all the right thing.
Okay.
Yeah, he seems very knowledgeable about how to appease the spirits, but seems quite at loss with what's going on with the families.
So how many of these houses are close to springs? The houses that people have dis-
No, the houses are out in the woods. The people who died have been in small houses out at either the edge of the village or out into the woods. No, the people in the village haven't been affected. Would you like to go to one of the houses?
I think that would be cool to see one of those places.
Yeah.
Okay. I will get my. I saw you had Asa with you.
Yes, he was carrying us back. Yes.
He has travelled these mountains for many years. He knows many of these families. Perhaps he could take you to one of them.
Sure, he will.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Asa has, as I said, has been here for many years. He holds true to the old traditions in a way that I think most of us do not. Is there anything else you would like to know?
Yeah. Before we leave,
Yes.
could you tell me about this community in this village here? How they are mainly charcoal burners and loggers and so on. But are there any other figures of importance except from your Ibon self?
There is a shrine priestess, of course.
A shrine
maintains-
priestess.
Yes, she maintains the shrine
Okay.
to the local spirits. In particular, to the monkey god.
You're a local monkey god here.
Yes, yes, the monkeys that live nearby. We pray to the monkey god.
And do the monkeys come to the springs often?
We do not trouble the monkeys, and they do not trouble us. But yes, they do have their own spring.
Okay. Well, so we know not to go there because, yeah.
It is further into the mountain. It's quite a trek. It would take you at least a half a day to walk there.
Have you been checked recently that the spring is still unperturbed or undisturbed by humans?
The monkey spring.
The monkey spring, yeah.
No, I haven't been there. It's the middle of winter. It's very dangerous to travel
Yeah, of
up to the
course.
spring.
Does the monkey god tolerate people visiting that spring? Or is it just humans should just leave it well alone?
No, it's a very bad thing to disturb the spring in winter.
Even to visit it, just to look at it.
If you disturb the monkeys, the gods might get angry.
Okay.
Dirt, well, like dirt. I mean, you know.
Yes, of course, you lowlanders would already know that.
Yes.
Anyway, yes, so monkey god, shrine priestess.
Priestess. But her name is?
Her name, excellent question. I'm glad you are. Give me 1 second. I just need to scroll down. Miho.
Riho. Well, maybe we could visit her later too.
Yes, she will be found in the shrine, making the appropriate request. Would you like me to summon Asa for you so he can take you to the nearest hut?
Yeah, it would be great.
Okay. Summons his grandson, who's some young 10, 15-year-old kid, and sends him out into the snow to find Asa at the onsen. Asa is dragged, kicking and screaming, out of the warm onsen that he was quite happily ensconced in. What didn't know how to build like what I was he's just sort of dressed for the weather though, so he's got the big sort of straw overcoat thing, which is partially lined underneath it. He has a mushroom, the sort of mushroom bowl hat over his head. What can I do for you, Oshimuku-san?
Well, I think Konda-san here has said that you will be able to guide us to some of the dwellings in the woods where some of these terrible freezing deaths have happened. I'm assuming that these places haven't been reoccupied since by others.
Which family? Which families should I go see? The Natsumi family. They are the closest. It's very sad. I can take you to the Natsumi family if that will help, or rather, where the Natsumi family live.
I was going to say, are there members of the family still living, or were they all killed?
No, they were all found dead in the morning. Frozen.
I think we should go there. Should go and check.
Okay. He forges out into the snow, all of you following. As soon as you leave the headman's house, you're struck by how cold it is again. As a matter of fact, it feels somehow even colder than it was when you went in, although that may be the fact that you've been sitting in the
warmth,
balmy warmth of the room. Probably.
And I hope we took our coats off indoors, otherwise we won't feel the benefit.
Yes.
Oh, you had to take your coats off because you would have been sweating otherwise.
Yeah.
It was seriously warm inside that room. You head off into the snow and it's about the... Ooh, actually, hold on. You've taken most of the day to get here. I will assume, actually, Asa says, I think we should sleep overnight before we head into the woods because it took us a whole day to get here and it's dark. Is that okay? And if we sleep in the onsen, we shouldn't need any watches because we will be inside a building.
Tara can stay on watch if he wants to knock himself out. That's fine. I think the rest of us can sleep.
You go to the onsen, which is quite lovely. It's warm. There's a young family taking care of the onsen. They're about the 7th or 8th generation in that family to run this small onsen by the river. It's never been a particularly busy place, but it's clearly showing the signs of additional investment. So things are getting larger. They greet you, and barring you asking any specific questions, they basically just feed you. They don't seem to know very much. One of the key things that comes out quite quickly from talking to them is they are far less aware of all of the sort of goings-on around the village than perhaps than the headman and some of the others. Almost willfully so.
So when you say willfully so, the headman's not sharing, or they're choosing not to think about it?
The family are almost willfully not thinking about it.
Yeah.
So there's a sort of an unwillingness to engage in a conversation about it.
Is this a class thing? Could I,
Could be.
given my scruffy attitude, could I take him aside at some point when the others have gone and see if I can get more out of them.
Sure. You can make a what is it again? A manipulation roll, isn't it? That's right.
Yeah, manipulation. That's one of my greatest strengths. He lied.
That's right.
Because of my crappy empathy. But I will.
Although you can actually roll ops. No, you roll manipulation in this case, yeah.
Or can I roll? Yeah, either way, it doesn't make any odds. I will roll manipulation.
Okay.
And I get 2 successes on 3 dice. Check that out.
Yeah, nice one. Okay. No, you think actually it's like, so they're a young family. And they're obviously quite aware that young families are being taken. And there's almost this sort of willful ignorance, like this willful sort of avoiding of dealing with the fact that they're actually a young family. So they're sort of ignoring the story, as it were, and pretending it's not happening, because actually they're right in the middle of that kind of frame. So
yes, let's ask about their children. How old are their children?
5 and 7.
5 and 7. Is there a girl among them?
Yep.
Is she the oldest or the
Youngest?
The youngest. Now, forgive me, this is my ignorance of Meiji Japan, but there is a festival, isn't there, at sort of 3, 7 and 11 or something, 3 stages of growing up, where in the city there's a lot of dressing up and going to the temple at certain birthdays. And that's...
I actually honestly don't know.
Right, okay. So that's not part of the story then.
I'm sure it's true.
Something I don't remember the exact details, but I've actually been in a Meiji castle where that's going on. I can't remember.
Oh wow, that's very cool. No, unfortunately, if it's GM oversight 101, but no, I'm aware of it, so you may find that. See, this is one of the weaknesses of playing a game set in a completely different culture. Sometimes you don't let other players know. That's not going to do us at all in this game so far. And Nicholas. Yeah, anyway, whatever. I'm rolled on.
We all do get together before the game and work out what we can come up with to catch you out, Thomas.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
I'm just reading it. It's Shichi-san. And
So, yeah, the family. You head out to the family to see what can be done. And it was the Natsumi family, I think you said.
Yep, that's right.
Yep. So you head out into the forest with Asa guiding you. You come across the hut. It's the door is open. There's no smoke. The whole place has clearly been left alone. It's basically built of sort of fronds and wood, right? So they've basically built a rustic hut out here. So they've been living under this sort of rustic hut sort of framework. It's surrounded by snow and ice. There's no plants growing on the ground near the hut. There are trees, but there's nothing coming through the snow. So it's pristine and white and pure. Asa stops at the edge of the clearing and says, "I knew this family. I hope it is okay, but I will stop you."
That's fine. How long ago did this terrible fate befall the Natsume family?
Like 2 to 3 weeks ago.
And this place has been left untouched since their bodies have been removed.
Yes.
And what happened to their bodies?
They were appropriately dealt with.
Is that cremated buried in Japan?
I actually don't know. But I actually don't know.
Again, failing guess.
I haven't even vaguely engaged in the reading I've done. I assume it's burial.
Burial. I'm sure
They
it's in
have
graveyards.
gravestones. I've been to a lot of Japanese I've been to a number of Japanese graveyards, so I'm going to go with burial, which was my first inclination. So yeah, they've been buried.
Been buried in the village.
Yeah.
That must be hard with the hard earth.
Well, I think, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes, cremation and then burial. Reading Wikipedia.
You're muted.
Sorry.
You think that, but there are people committed to the art.
Okay.
Bury them for a while, dig them up, but
Then cremate them.
It's like let's
sure it's a
kill and barbecue.
yeah, I'm sure it's a thing somewhere. I have absolute faith in humanity.
Okay.
That someone thought that's what you had to do. I can't prove that, by the way, but I do feel strongly that it's very likely somewhere someone does it. Okay, so they've been and then they've been buried. So they are buried.
Fine.
And their bodies, most importantly, are destroyed.
So we can't examine them yet.
You can, however, go into the hut, and you can cross the open clearing. Who goes into the hut first?
Well, I suggest that I should, because I have a investigation skill and camera that are quite good before anybody
Okay.
disturbs things without wanting
you're
to be
expendable.
CSI.
And
I would actually quite like to go around the outside of the hut and have a look around.
okay.
Get the lay of the land.
Okay, well, make a. Can I get you to make a vigilance roll, Toshiro?
That's me, vigilance.
Let me find that.
No, that's Frank.
Oh, sorry,
No, it's Frank.
Tamita. Sorry,
Vigilance.
Tamita and Toshiro. I'm getting
Vigilance, first roll of the day for me, so let's see whether I can work this out. That is part of logic.
yeah.
Yep.
So no buffers, I guess. No extra. So no, that doesn't look like anything sensible.
Okay. You go around the outside of the hut. You don't see anything particularly noticeable. Rai, you're going to be first into the hut. Are you sort of putting on the sort of investigative brain, or are you taking a general decent look around the room?
I am putting on
Like,
my
are you looking for
investigative
specific
brain.
things?
Sorry?
Okay, all right. No, that's answered the question.
Mhm.
So roll an investigation roll for me.
Okay. I may also, while I'm here before the others disturb everything, take some photographs, which I think give me a bonus of 2 on investigations.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
what happened there?
Oh, well, hold on. You got to clear it.
Clear it.
Because you had your old roll. So you
Ah,
clear the roll.
okay,
and then,
so
and then do it in.
2.
Otherwise, get loads of dice.
This bonus isn't working. Oh no, it's there. 2 and investigation there, and roll.
And roll.
Hey.
That's not great. That's 1 success.
Yeah.
I think
So-
I think I'm a bit frustrated with my performance there. So
Oh.
I am going
There's a push
to be a little bit angry with myself and try rolling these again. Here we go. Right, one success. That's it.
That's it. One success. You take photos of the room. It's completely covered in ice.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole room is just covered in ice. It's frozen. Now, yeah, so it's very icy, and you can see like a half-eaten, like it's like a tableau, right? It's like it's a perfect capturing of a moment. Is probably the thing that you most notice.
So these people were sitting around a table or something and froze almost in the instant, is what you're saying.
That's what you think.
Which would be extraordinary. If they were freezing in their beds at night, then that, you know, that's believable. But these people appeared to be active. We must ask again the headman or something, when the bodies were recovered, how were they recovered? Were they sitting down? Were any standing even? Anyway, I invite the others in and tell them what I've learned.
You've noted.
Is there any damage to the door?
No.
So the door is wide open.
Yep.
Does the door have a sort of locking mechanism at all on the inside?
Yeah, it's got like a
bolt or a bar. Right.
It's got like a flipping handle, so you can sort of, it's like a lever.
So it could be locked from the inside.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and
absolutely.
but that lever looks in perfect working order. Doesn't look damaged.
It's frozen solid, so it doesn't actually move at the moment. But you can't see any noticeable damage to the lever.
Right. Okay.
Like you can't move it. It's locked in ice.
But it doesn't look broken or anything.
Yeah.
So you say everything's frozen. But is it sort of covered in ice, or it's just frozen from within?
Okay.
I don't know if this
is
so how are you
unusually very strange concept for someone from living here.
Yeah, we get a lot of ice down here. Canberra's cold. It goes down to -8. Yeah, in high winter. You know, I mean, that's freezing, man. Literally, sometimes the water freezes and it stops moving in the pool. Can you make for me I actually think it's going to have to be an investigation roll. Probably not what you'd like to hear, but
True. I want to hear.
Because I think I understand what you're asking.
Well,
okay.
These low dice rolls are working for us all.
Sorry, so to clarify, and I will now clarify, I will ask you a question which will give you an opportunity to clarify your question because you've got 2 successes. So you're asking whether the objects are just coated in ice or whether there are some objects that feel like they're actually frozen solid, for want of better language.
Yes.
Okay. There are objects that are frozen solid. So it's not just that there's a veneer of ice on the objects. It's actually that there's a brittleness to the objects when you do things to them.
It's not just a bit of rime over the top.
No, not even a thick layer of ice. The objects themselves are frozen through.
A brittleness like, and this is an entirely 21st century point of view, like sticking something in liquid nitrogen and then being able to smash it. That sort of brittle?
Just like that, yeah.
What about the fireplace? How does that look?
The fireplace is, I mean, it's obviously there's no fire. There was wood in the fireplace, like there was charcoal. Sorry, there was burnt down wood.
Okay, but the fire had burned out. It looks like. Or was it?
Oh, as in, was there ash, or was there chunks of wood that looked like
Yes,
they were?
it's chunks of wood that hasn't burned all the way through, basically.
Yeah, so definitely the latter. The wood
Something
itself
put out
was.
fire.
Or the fire went out. I mean, fires don't always burn all the wood. It's not a given. But there's definitely wood, and some of that wood has been partially burnt in the fireplace.
Okay. It's a tricky game.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk to someone about how they were found, and in a sense,
I agree.
You said.
Yeah, I mean, you said things are so brittle that they're almost shattering. Did bodies shatter? They have to sweep them up.
Well, they have not told us that, but I wonder whether they did. They
They were
burned them in
similarly
pieces.
roasted through.
Yeah.
Who should we ask?
Okay, can I get who's got? Okay, who do you guys want to make a vigilance roll inside the room? I'll let you choose.
I'm not afraid
I've
of
got-
the villain.
No,
I got 6 dice for that.
it's probably you then. So I've got 4.
Matt, how many vigilance do you have?
I only have my logic.
Okay, I've got 6 in total then. Shall I roll it?
Okay,
Okay.
so you're all sort of ferreting around the room, checking things out.
I got 1 success.
Okay. Okay, no, it's fine.
Did I want to push that? Possibly.
Push it.
Could I
Tara's like, sacrifice the condition, do it for the team.
can I take a step back and watch the others as they're ferreting around the room and therefore use my observation skill?
Just sort of pay attention to people moving around the room.
Yeah.
Is there, so I think if I push it, is there something that's getting the hairs on the back of my neck standing up? Something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take frightened as a condition, and I'm gonna re-roll 5 of those dice.
Oh,
And get nothing.
No,
Oh, no,
I
you
got
got
one more. I got 2 successes in total. then.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But I'm now frightened.
Okay. You are sure that there were only 4 members of the family? Which begs the question, why is there a 5th plate with food on it at the table?
Could be a local tradition. Always have one out for absent family members, for spirits, for monkeys. I don't know.
or maybe a spirit actually did come to dinner.
Indeed.
We had a guest. Yeah.
Frost.
Can I? So with all my research, can I make a learning roll to see if there is such a ritual or tradition up here?
By all means.
That gives me 7 dice. It's 2 successes.
There are obviously many rituals that involve having food out for spirits, for ancestors. Like there's an endless array of ways spirits, ancestors and other things in humans, all through Japan. So it's not unusual to do that. However, you're not aware of any specific ceremony or special
Mountain
holiday
tradition. Yeah,
or anything that was applicable 3 weeks ago.
right.
So they're normally tied to festivals and other things. Not always, but normally. You're not aware of anything specific that would accord with the dates that you've got.
Right. Okay.
We could ask Asa. Yeah, outside us.
Yeah. Thomas,
Let's ask Casa too.
we're past 12, 10 past 12. When do we want to
Yeah,
carry
we
on
probably-
till?
I actually need to face into another conversation before I finish the day. So 5 minutes would be my max.
Or is this a good cliffhanger to stop on with us all?
Yeah,
in
it's
the,
actually pretty good. Yeah,
in the,
actually,
in the
it'd be
actual
good to hand it
in
down.
the hut.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're in the hut. You've discovered that there's a fifth seat at the table, and there's a high degree of cold in the room.
And I'm getting spooked as a result of it.
Yeah.
That fifth plate is worrying me. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Excellent stuff.
Thanks.
So
So-
those of us who've clung on, we will do this again at some point, but we haven't decided when we're
Yeah.
going to. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Probably the same day and
I
time of
have-
the day.
Yeah, it will be the same. It could be slightly earlier. I didn't realise it was going to be quite so late for you guys. So I just need to negotiate that. I'm doing a bit of work travel in. Hold on. What month am I in? May. I'm doing a bit of work travel in June. So for the first time in a long time, it's very exciting. I'm going to Western Queensland to run telecommunications forums. It's going to be awesome. So actually, it is very awesome.
Seeing people.
Cool as. Yeah, seeing real humans. Who knew? So I might try and organise this for about 2 to 3 weeks from now. There's a bit of travel in my future, but let me see what that looks like.
Cool.
And we'll see where we land.
Excellent. And we'll
Sounds good.
having finally got Roll and StreamYard working together, we'll do it again like this next time so it's consistent.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah,
edit this
absolutely.
video down
Yep.
to get rid of the first hour of crap. So
Yeah.
that I think the second half of this has been reasonably consistent.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. Brilliant.
Oh,
Shall we
and
say
one
goodbye
question,
to our
Dave. What
chums?
did you think?
bye-bye?
Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Bye.
watching. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.